What's up, tribe? Can y'all see me okay? Good afternoon. Baby, I got a hard 40 minutes because I just got back in from the gym and I got to get ready to take a shower and get out of here. I have an afternoon meeting I got to get to. But I said, let me come in here and talk to the people. All right, let me come in here and talk to the people. Hey, y'all, coming in. Now, as you guys know, Simon Gobadia gave an exclusive interview to Michelle A.T. Elliott Brown. Okay. Now, she has the full interview on her Patreon, but she put part 1 and part 2 edited versions on her YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to be honest. Powerful, I don't know if Powerful is here. She'll drop down as she comes through. She said that there really wasn't a big difference from the part 1 interview and what was on Patreon. However, part 2, I'm wondering how much was edited out of part 2 and put on Patreon. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, around the middle, I got a little lost. But I'm going to get to my notes and I'll explain to y'all what I mean. So let me give my disclaimer before we get started. First and foremost, I am doing a review. I'm not going to be playing the video. I am not going to be playing, clips of the video. If you want to hear the full video, please go to Michelle A.T. Elliott Brown or her Patreon, and you guys can hear the whole interview. This is my review from what I heard. It's my opinion, and it is from the point of view of Simon. So please don't argue with me about Simon lying, Simon, because this is his point of view. It is the way it went down based on what he's coming from. I ain't saying I agree or disagree. I'm just going to tell you what the man said. Okay. So let's get into it. So the interview picks up sort of where we left off at the end of part 1, and I did review part 1. So if you guys want to hear part 1, y'all can go. I think this thing get ready to pop. Sorry, y'all. If you want to hear my part 1 review, I did that last week. Matter of fact, I'll link it. I'll put it in the description box and I'll link it in. But let me go to my notes. So we pick up with him talking about the prenup. Now, this is what I'm going to say. He said that he just feels like, he said he agrees that he signed the prenup, and, based on what was in the prenup, pretty much, Portia is really just enforcing the prenup as is. But what his thing is that he just doesn't think it's fair. Well, and to be fair to Michelle, she said, but Simon, you signed it. Like, you signed it. You're right. Because he was like, we were only married 400 and such a days. And do you really think that she deserves this for 400 and such a days? So at the end of the day, we can sit here and say, dang, that's ridiculous that he's, that she gets to do this and she gets this and she gets this and she gets that. But baby, that was in the prenup that you signed, that was negotiated for however many months. It wasn't like they went into a room and 5 minutes later they came out with a prenup. This thing was negotiated over months. So at the end of the day, sir, you signed it. And he even said, my attorney even told me not to sign it. See, this is my problem. Why do we pay people and then we don't do what we're paying them to do? If your attorney, the person you're paying, and you probably paid him a good little piece of change, is telling you, Simon, you are not protected in this document. This is not a good document for you. And you signed it anyway. Well, then at this point, you get what you get. Because it's not like you went into it ignorant. It's not like you went into it blind. And I'm going to be honest, if the situation were reversed and the roles are reversed, I don't think anybody would be mad at Portia for saying, oh my gosh, look at what he did to me. So I think in this situation, right, he said he did it because he was in love. That's what he said, Ravine. He said, I signed it because I was in love. I disagree with that. I think he signed it because he thought he was dealing with a fool. I think he signed it because he was dealing with somebody he thought was naive. I think he signed it because he probably did think it was going to last longer than a year. Now that I do believe. I believe he thought it was going to last about 5. I don't think he thought it was going to last forever, but I do think he thought it was going to last about 5 or 6 years. they would, have a good time, and then he would move on. And this is what I was saying the other night when I was doing my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and somebody in the chat was like, Portia's stupid. And I was like, no, she's not. I do not believe Portia is as dumb as people think she is. Now, I'm not saying that I think she's a rocket scientist and she's got the cure for, cancer. I'm not saying that either. But I do not think she's as dumb as people think she is, or naive as people think she is. I just don't believe that. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that. I believe that Portia got an attorney. She clearly got a barracuda of an attorney, and she got what she wanted. Again, when we get to the money piece of it, he sort of is double talking. And that is why I say that Simon, in my opinion, Simon's full of ish. We're going to get to that in a minute. So then he talked about they were in the process of Portia getting a golden visa for Dubai. Now, hold on. This is what I meant to do before we went live. Hold on. I was driving while I was taking these notes. Don't tell nobody. All right. So a golden visa, golden visas are, hold on. Okay, several countries offer golden visas. Some even dole out full citizenship to foreigners via a golden passport. The price varies, with some visas accessible for only wealthy applicants and others others are set at more affordable rates. They are often bought by citizens of China, Russia, and Middle Eastern countries who want to live in Western Europe or the US, but they can attract curiosity from other nations. Securing a golden visa is getting harder. Law enforcement agencies concerned that the programs facilitate criminal activity. So what is actually a golden visa? A golden visa is a residence by investment program. A golden visa allows individuals to obtain temporary or permanent residency in a given country so they can work or live there. The investment may include buying a home, creating a company, or making a donation. So basically, a golden visa is what Donald Trump was talking about with the you pay $5 million, you can get the golden the gold Trump card or whatever. So the funny thing is, people act like it was so ridiculous when Trump came up with it, but other countries have been doing it. They just don't put their name on it and call it the Trump whatever Trump. But Trump's ego and his narcissism, he has to put his name on everything. So it's not. That's what it is. So what Simon was saying was he was in the process of getting a golden visa for Portia. He said he got one for her, and then he was getting one for himself. Now, he said they were in the process of getting Portia a golden visa, but then, and he said Portia has full residency, but then later on, he was like, Portia has the golden visa, and she has full residency in Dubai right now. So I'm not sure if they were in the process of doing it and it actually went through before the divorce went through. I'm not sure. But according to Simon, Portia has a golden visa to Dubai at this time. Now, I don't know if it's permanent or temporary. The definition said that it's temporary. That it could be permanent or temporary. He said he was also in the process of making Portia's company a global brand. Now, he ain't say for what, because I know it ain't for that damn go naked hair, and I know it ain't for them damn sheets. But he said that he was in the process of helping Portia create a global company. Now, again, I'm going to say, now, two things can be true at the same time. I understand that. But on one, I know Des Hop, don't tell nobody, I know. But on one hand, he was like, yeah, I was helping, because I'm going, what's up, Don? Hey, boo. He was like, I was helping Portia because, of course, I want my, basically he was like, if I'm living good, I want my women to look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as having businesses, he was like, I shouldn't be the only one having a business. That's always what I'm about. I'm about elevating the women that I'm with. I'm about improving their lives and giving them this and giving them that. But then later on in the interview, he talked about how Portia not working wasn't an issue for him as long as she was taking care of the home. He said, I'm a provider. It's my job to take care of home and make sure that, you know, the women in my life live well, my kids live well. And I don't see that if there's a problem that, you know, I come home and, you know, the house is taken care of and the kids are taken care of and food is, you know, dinner's ready. I don't have a problem with that. Let's be clear. If my husband is retiring me, I don't have no problem making sure he come home to a happy home. Like, I honestly don't think that's an issue. I really don't. I don't think that's old fashioned. I don't think that's outdated. I think that marriage is what works for you. That's why you got to be evenly yoked. Y'all have to be on the same page with that. If he wants to have a stay-at-home wife, but he is providing a lifestyle for her that she is comfortable with, I don't think it's hard to make sure that the house is clean. You ain't got to clean it. Y'all got people working there to clean it. Making sure food is on the table. You ain't got to cook the food. You just got to make sure that the food is there. You know what I mean? So I don't even see what the issue is. What's up, y'all? Danny, you don't have your mod stick over here? I got to get you your mod stick over here. V. Spencer says, I can believe that about the brand, the ideal Portia in that part of the world. They would look at her like royalty. It would have worked. I can see that. Hey, what's up, Aaron Boo? How you doing? Aaron, what's the name of your new channel so we can drop the link so we can get you some subscribers? Yeah, Danny, I got to give you a wrench on this channel. Temporary and permanent residency is good. The only thing you can do is vote in the country, get it in, you get voting rights when you become a citizen. Okay. Right, Raven. Listen, fair exchange ain't never been no robbery. I'll take the soft life. If I don't have to get up in the morning and deal with fools at work, I can handle the home, especially when the money is there for me to pay. You mean I don't have to get on my hands and knees and scrub these bathrooms? I just got to call somebody, Molly Mays, to come and do it? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I just got to make sure that the pool man show up and the pool is clean. Cool. I got to make sure that the landscaper comes through. All right. Can y'all do me a favor? My nephew, my little nephew, Aaron, his channel was deleted. So he is starting over on YouTube. If you guys, he does reviews. He does a lot of the like baddie stuff. Actually, Aaron was the first one that gave us the breakdown of the Remy Ma. What's that boy named Blackout Papoose situation. He had all of that drama before it became really public consumption. He was one of the first people that broke it down. So if y'all can please help him out and get to his, y'all know how this YouTube thing works. We got to get him to 1,000 subscribers. If y'all can check him out and subscribe to him, I really would appreciate it. He put his channel in the chat. It's not a hyperlink, but y'all can cut and paste it if you don't mind. I really appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. Oh, also, I did pin my back to school wish list. Again, nobody has to buy me anything. It is a wish list. If you choose to donate to my classroom, it will be much appreciated. If you don't, I understand. I know y'all got your own kids to worry about, your own households to deal with for back to school. If you want to buy me a box of tissue, a box of Clorox, a box of pens or pencils, I'd appreciate it. If not, baby, it's okay. Y'all know we still love each other anyway. Let me give Danny her mod stick before I forget. You know, when you start this second channel, I have to. You must not have dropped down over here, Danny, because I would have saw it. I would have seen it. All right, let me get you straight. Thank you, Don. Don, put the link in the chat. If y'all could do that for me, please, it'll be appreciated. I would appreciate it. Okay. Oh shoot, Danny, I have to do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Give me a second. I gotta log in through my other. I gotta go to my other login. Anyway, okay, I can do two things at the same time. Oh no, wait a minute. I am. Oh no, I'm not. No. I gotta log in under my other so I can give you a mod stick. Okay, so I feel like okay, there you go. You got it. You got it. Thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it. Why are schools asking teachers not to do Amazon wish list? I have no idea. I don't know what schools are asking teachers not to do it, so I don't know. I haven't heard that, Majani. I haven't heard that. Where's that happening that they're asking teachers not to do wish lists? I've never even heard that before. That's crazy. So, okay, let me go back to my notes. All right, so he said that Portia does have her golden visa right now. He said that, but then this is where you know that a lot of what Simon does is very calculated. Because then he said, well, she does have the golden visa, but I'm not sure what her status is because they have very strict laws over there about defamation, and they look down on people who defame other people's businesses and make defamatory statements about people personally. Remember, Simon is suing Portia for defamation. That is an ongoing lawsuit. That's not a rumor. He is suing Portia for defamation. And part of why he's suing Portia, he claims that she made comments about him being, impotent, child. So I was like, oh, so that's why you filed that lawsuit, because you helped her get this golden visa and you don't want her to have it anymore. So you're trying to get it revoked. So you filing this defamation lawsuit. Got it. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Got it. I haven't heard that either. We have to spend it. Right. That's exactly how a princess, and princess is a teacher too. Yeah. Oh, damn. He's going to get her. Right. That's what it sounds like. Or at least it sounds like he's trying. I said, okay, Simon, I see what you're doing. Simon. I see what you're doing. Okay. So then she asked him, well, what were some of the red flags? Like, you had to have seen some red flags, because he said that, okay, let me rewind a little bit. He said the same thing the rest of us said. One minute they were in Dubai, living their best life, posting on social media, talking about you might ride or die, talking about love wins, like all of these things. And he said literally the next day she filed for divorce. Literally the next day she filed for divorce. So he was like, he said he could tell something was up. He said she was acting funny. He asked her what was going on. Of course she was like, nothing, it's cool. And he was like, but he knew something was up because she was just acting funny. He said, but he figured that time will reveal it. And, according to him, it did. Okay. So then he said, she asked him, well, what were some of the red flags? So he said, well, the first red flag was she asked him for an allowance for $30,000. He said that was the second month that they were dating. Here again is where to me, it was all over the place. And I don't know if it was the editing. I don't know if Michelle took stuff out, like the juicier stuff, to put on her Patreon, which I'm not mad at her about. That's what you're supposed to do. But I wasn't sure if the choppiness of part 2 was because of the way it was edited, or is this just the way Simon was talking? So that I don't know. But what I will say is later on in the interview, he sort of put this $30,000 in context. What he said was that he said that Portia was very upset about Bolo Gate. Yeah, I know Bolo Gate, when Portia allegedly slept with the scripper, at Cynthia's bachelorette party situation. He said she would wake up in the middle of the night crying, bawling, tears, talking about, why don't they like me? Why are these people talking about me? Why are they coming for me online? And Simon said, I'm here to help. What can I do to help? How can I, you're my woman. What can I do? And he said that is when Portia said she didn't want to go back to the housewives, and basically she would need $30,000 a month to supplement her income for not going back to the show. And his thing was, I understand, I respect it. If you don't want to go back, you don't have to go back. Here go your $30,000 a month. I think somewhere in the middle is the truth. I do not believe that this was all 100% on Portia. I believe that Simon didn't want Portia to work. I just believe that. And I believe that when he told Simon, when he convinced Portia to quit the show, she said, okay, well, you want to supplement my income. If you don't want me to work, you're going to have to supplement my income. Because remember, Portia didn't just quit Housewives. She quit the Ricky Smiley show too. Dish Nation. She quit. So Portia quit 2 jobs that we know of. We don't know what other opportunities people were hitting her up with and all that kind of stuff. Teachers are being asked not to do Amazon wish lists because it can create an appearance of a school sponsored fundraiser, which may have a child. Lovely soul. That's crazy. That don't even make. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm saying that don't even make sense. Me creating a wish list for my classroom, I don't have my school's name on there. I don't have any information on there that would, nobody would even knows what school I work for, what district I work for, what county I work for. The only reason why y'all know what state I work in is because y'all know where I live. I mean, I've told y'all that. I think that's, and I'm not saying what you're saying is bullshit. I'm saying if that is what is being said, that's bullshit. Because that has, one has nothing to do with the other. One has nothing to do with the other. That's my opinion. And again, I'm not saying that your information is incorrect. I'm saying that information is stupid. But anyway, but thank you. Thank you for sharing it. If you have an article or something, I would love to read the article and see where this is coming from. Because that sound like a hater type bullshit. That don't even make no sense to me. But okay. So I think that Simon went to Portia and told Portia he didn't want her to work. And Portia said, okay, well, if you want me to quit my jobs, you're going to have to supplement my income. And this is what I make per month. Now, do I think Portia was making $30,000 a month? Hell no. But hell, I would have negotiated higher too. If I was making $20,000 a month, oh, I'm damn sure going to add 10 more to it. Maybe even 20. So I do not believe that that's how that conversation went. I honestly don't. Second of all, you went to Bolo Gate. Are we going to forget that Portia had a whole spinoff show after Bolo Gate? She had her own show on Bravo. I mean, it didn't go over too well. We know it didn't really go over too well as far as because Portia, showed her ass. But she had a whole spinoff. Let's be clear, Simon. The conversation that Portia didn't want to have on the Real Housewives of Atlanta was about you. The conversation she didn't want to have was about you. Because Bolo Gate was long forgotten by the time she would have had to start filming for season, what was that, 14? Season 14? Child, we were talking about you and Portia. Nobody gave a damn about Bolo. Bolo was long gone. Bolo was season 10. No, wasn't Bolo? What season was Bolo, y'all? Bolo was like season 10, season 11. Nobody was thinking about Bolo ass. We was thinking about Portia sliding to your DMs and Portia dating her co-worker's husband and Portia. Child, I promise you Portia wasn't waking up in the middle of the night crying about Bolo when she was sleeping next to you. The internet was dragged, season 13, thank you, Don. The internet was dragging Portia way harsher over Simon than we ever were over Bolo. I mean, if I'm wrong, put it in the chat. If I'm wrong, put it in the chat. We got 100 people in the room. I hope we got about 75 likes. If you could do that for me, please. Likes are free. Likes are free. So I'm sorry. I have to call bullshit on that one. But okay, Simon. I wanted her to ask for more red lights. I mean, red lights. I wanted to hear her talk about more red flags, but she kind of stopped there and started talking about something else. And again, I don't know if that was editing or if that was the only red flag that he volunteered, because I really would love to have heard more red flags. So then she said, well, what's the biggest lie that you want to clear up about, biggest lie, biggest misconception? And he said, the biggest lie is that they knew each other prior to, he keeps saying his divorce, but Simon, you weren't divorced yet. We're going to get to that in a second. But he said the biggest lie is that they knew each other prior to his divorce. He said they did not know each other. He said, I had seen her in passing, like he said in part 1. He said, but I did not know her. We did not have communication. We were not dating. We weren't seeing each other. I mean, okay, then. She was crying over the fact that Simon was working her. Oh, whoa, Chapel Hill. Oh, my. Woo. Oh, my. Portia showed her hand with her behavior on her own show. She was still in love with Dennis when she got to. She sure was, just me, because she acted a fool. She's still in love with Dennis. That's why she acted a fool over Dennis this season. She really thinks she owns Dennis. She's still in, and they're gonna get back together if they ain't already messing around. I wouldn't be surprised if they still sleeping, if they have started sleeping around again. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if they never stop. But I damn sure wouldn't be surprised if they get back together. Oh, Tracy to open up the bar. She said they got peach margarita, watermelon mojito, and a brown sugar bourbon sour. And for the non-drinkers, raspberry mint julep. Okay. Dennis said they knew each other from his club, in case people forgot. Dennis said who knew each other? Him and Portia? I'll take that brown sugar sour. Slide one down the bar for me. Okay. So he kept saying divorce, and I wrote in my notes, do you mean separation? Because you weren't divorced when you started dating Portia. You were still because remember they had to wait for the divorce. You were still legal. Now you were separated. You had filed for divorce, but you were still legally married. So when you kept saying, "Oh well," people, the misconception is people knew each other before my divorce. That's not a misconception. Y'all was living together, damn near living together before your divorce was final. Okay. So we started talking again. So here's where I was saying in the middle of this, Simon really did lose me with the numbers thing, and I'm sure it was done on purpose. People like Simon think they're so smart and they double talk and they think you can't hear through what they're saying and read between the lines. And I think that's what Simon was doing. Michelle was pushing back a little bit, but we know she's a little biased, right? At least in my opinion. She was pushing back a little bit on some of the things he was saying, but let me just go through my notes and then I'm going to tell you what I was thinking. Okay. So they talked about the fact that when Simon left the house, Simon's kids have to leave the house, that Portia kicked the kids out. They had their own room there. And according to what Simon was saying, that she kicked the kids out. They still have belongings in the house. They went back over that situation where the ex-wife got in contact with Portia so she could get some of her kids' things out of the house. And allegedly at that time, that is when Portia offered to pay his child support. He said, my ex-wife should not have accepted it. She shouldn't have taken the money. She shouldn't have accepted the money from her, because then Portia turned around and used it in court to make it look like she was paying my bills when that wasn't the case. So again, I'm going to read between what's not being said. The only way your wife would have accepted it, in my opinion, I don't know this woman. I don't know his ex-wife. I don't know nothing about his ex-wife. But I feel like the only way your ex-wife would have accepted it is if she was getting paid. You were in ICE detention, so she wasn't getting her child support. So maybe when Portia offered it, maybe she needed the money. I don't know. Now, did Portia have her own reasons for offering the money? Maybe. Maybe she offered it so she could come use it in court. Maybe she really wanted to make sure she was good because, like Portia said, hell, I was paying my own bills because he's in ICE now, ICE detention, and he can't pay the bills. So I don't know. But what I heard was, even though it sounds like Portia, based on the text messages and stuff, it sounds like Portia offered, and she may have had her own reasons for doing it, but the fact remains your ex-wife accepted it. He said it's in the prenup that they couldn't film in the house. So that wasn't him just being petty about her filming in the house. According to Simon, remember what I said at the beginning of this live? I'm speaking based on what Simon said. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I haven't read the prenup. I can't say for certain that that's what's in there. But according to Simon, it was in the prenup that they could not film in the house in the case of a separation, whatever. Now, here's where it gets real tricky with the money. And at the end of this, Simon is planning to do exactly what I told y'all Simon was planning to do. But let's talk about it. He said that that's one of the things he took issue with the judge, that the judge would allow Portia to film in the house, even though it said in the prenup she couldn't film in the house. And the fact that the judge ended up changing, like overturning that and allowing her to film in the house, that's one of the things he's planning to appeal in this decision, right? He said that it is ridiculous, and I'm paraphrasing my words because I don't have the exact quote, but it is ridiculous for the judge to tell Simon to pay this settlement that he owes to Portia, meaning the alimony, the maintenance on the house, the mortgage on the house for the next, I forget however many months that, I think it's 14 months, however many months it is that he owes her, right? He said that he told in court. Oh, wait a minute. Thank you. I just got the article. I'm going to have to read this. Okay. Thank you for sending me the article, because I'm definitely going to have to read this. Maybe we'll talk about this on the teacher project. I'm going to send it to El Teddy. We might have to talk about this on the teacher project. I'll read it when I get off of here. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So he said that he thinks it's ridiculous for the judge to expect him to pay this settlement after he shared with the judge that while he was in ICE detention, he lost over $300 million because his companies weren't working. They weren't up and running. They weren't generating income. He said, and the judge obviously doesn't understand the difference between net worth and liquid assets. First of all, Simon, I think the judge does. This is someone who, you know, has multiple degrees. I think he understands the difference between net income and I think he understands the difference. So when you were what you were doing was trying to play games and say, oh, I lost $300 million because your businesses weren't working. Well, that wasn't $300 million in the bank. That was $300 million of potential income that you lost based on the fact that you were in ICE detention and your businesses weren't making any money. And I think the judge understood that. I think the judge understood the difference. And what the judge was saying to you was he didn't give a damn that you lost $300 million. You are still expected to uphold the prenup because that's what you signed on for. Now, here is where, in my opinion, Simon confirmed that he has no intention of paying Portia any money. Simon said, I think, and again, I'm paraphrasing his language. Y'all can go listen to it for yourself. And if I heard it wrong, y'all say, really, that ain't what that man said. But this is what I heard. He said, I think it's ridiculous for the judge. I should find the voice. I should find the timestamp so y'all can hear that. But I really don't want to play other people's content when it's something like this. But he was like, I think it's ridiculous for the judge to expect me to use my international income to settle this domestic debt. So in other words, what you're saying is you have the money to pay this settlement from money that's from outside of the United States, which I told y'all all along that Simon's money outside of the United States and Simon's money inside of the United States ain't the same. And I don't know this man, and I'm not saying he's as rich as he pretends to be, but I never believed that all of Simon's money was internal. I just didn't believe that. So he said, okay, Don said he watched it and he agrees with me 1,000%. Thank you, boo. He was like, I don't think it's reasonable to expect that I'm going to use my international money to take care of this domestic matter. He said, and he also told the judge, not only did he lose this potential $300 million while he was in ICE, he doesn't in the foreseeable future see that he's going to be able to get it back because now he's been deported and he can't run his business. His businesses in the United States may never be up and running again. But then he went on to say that his oil business is not an internationally traded company. So people really don't know what he said. He said his net worth was disclosed in the divorce documents that were made public. But basically, nobody really knows how much money he has because his company, his international companies are not publicly traded. Then he further put an exclamation point on it for me when he went back to, well, and basically what, and again, Don, you correct me if I heard this wrong, but basically he was like, Portia can sell the house and whatever equity she get out of the house should cover whatever debt I owe to her. He said Portia can sell the house. And the equity from the house should more than cover whatever debt I owe her. So his plan is basically, he's not going to, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. His plan is he is not going to pay Portia any money. And he is going to basically force Portia to have to sell that house. And whatever would be his part of the sale of the house, she can just keep it. And that, in his mind, will pay off whatever debt he owes her. Here's the bullshit, though. Well, all of that is bullshit, but here's the bullshit. He later says in the interview, ain't nobody looking for no $9 million house right now in this economy. So you know she can't sell it. You know there's no fucking equity. You know she's not going to make no money off that house. You just said it. You just said, ain't nobody looking for a $9 million house in this economy. So you know there's no equity in that house. You know if Portia sell that house tomorrow, she's not walking away with shit. Cindy says, so he's laundering money. He may not necessarily be laundering money. See, this is the thing about us Americans. And this is something that I'm coming to the realization. What time is it? I got to keep up with my time, y'all. Hold on, what time is it? Okay, I got about another 10 minutes. I'm almost done with my notes. But here's the thing about us as United States, as U.S. citizens. We have been taught that the world revolves around us. And the reality of the situation, and this is why I tell everybody they need to travel, they need to get out of the United States, they really need to go abroad. And I want to, where I want to get to is to start doing longer trips abroad. Like instead of just going somewhere and just staying at a hotel or staying at a resort, I want to start getting to the point where I get an Airbnb and stay somewhere for a week or two and be among the people and really live, you know what I'm saying? And really live among the people. And because we have such a global, a local view of a global world. And so what I mean by that is Simon is from Nigeria. I don't think he was laundering money. I think he just kept his money separate. I think he had businesses outside of the United States that he didn't bring inside of the United States and vice versa. I think he had money inside his businesses inside of the United States, and that was the money he lived off of here. If he needed more money, if he needed an infusion of money, he would go outside, he would go abroad and go get some damn money and bring it back. I don't think he's laundering, and again, I don't know that to be a fact. I don't think he's necessarily laundering money. Maybe that's how rich people do. People who are really wealthy, they definitely have money outside of the United States. I promise you. Wealthy people do not keep their money here. At least not all of their money. They keep enough to live the way they want to live. And the rest of that money is in other places. Now, I'm not saying he is or he isn't. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean he's laundering. Now, again, I don't know Simon. Simon might be a full liar. I mean, he clearly is a liar. But you know what I'm saying? That was in the order just in case he doesn't pay. Well, I'm saying to Love Keela, I think that's his plan. I think his plan is, I'm not paying none of that. Let me tell you something. Portia's divorce was final, 2 months ago? Tomorrow's August. So Portia's divorce was final 2 months ago, or Friday's August. I would love to know if Portia has seen any money from Simon. Did he pay the July mortgage? Did he pay the light bill? Did he pay you your alimony? I would be very interested to know if Portia got any money since that divorce decree was final and the judge made his order. I would be willing to bet money Portia ain't seen nothing from Simon. Now, I don't know that to be true, but that's my opinion. Really, he is absolutely laundering money. I have citizenship in 2 countries. The U.S. absolutely requires disclosure of money outside of the U.S. My bank in the other country asked me for my U.S. details. Okay, Ruru. You know better than I do. Okay, boo. But having a disclosure, that's not what I'm saying though. And maybe I'm hearing you. Having to disclose the money is not the same as having access to the money. Having to tell the U.S. banks how much money you have in other banks around the world, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you don't have to disclose it. I'm saying I don't think he's laundering it just because he has money in other parts of the country. I mean, other parts of the world. That's what I'm saying. I think that with the person who said he's laundering money, I was just trying to clear up. I'm not saying that he's illegally funneling. Laundering means you're illegally funneling money through somewhere else, right? You're cleaning money. That's what laundering is. I don't think that's what's happening. I'm just saying I think he has other business entities in other countries, and he's keeping the money separate. That's what I'm saying. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and thank you for that information. But that's not what I'm not saying that he doesn't have to share that money with the United States. I'm saying he doesn't have to give Portia that money because it ain't in the United States. That's what I'm saying. And he basically said that. He said, I don't feel like I have to use my international money to pay this domestic debt. That's what he said. Now that's what he said. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, yeah. I want to see something. Simon's loophole, however, might be because he wasn't a citizen. If you're a citizen, they want their taxes. Got it. Okay. So the fact that he wasn't actually a legal U.S. citizen, that might be, yeah. And again, rich people know all the loopholes. That's how they stay rich. They know all the loopholes. Like even here in the United States, the billionaires, they don't, like Amazon didn't pay no taxes last year. This the richest man in the world. Why? Because of the loopholes in the tax code. You know what I'm saying? Y'all probably paid more money in taxes last year than Amazon did. You know what I mean? But I hear you, Ruru. Thank you. And I mean, again, thank you for the information. Because again, you're a dual citizen, so you understand more of the technical what has to happen. I'm just saying that you keep the money, that he's keeping the money separate. And he even said that, right? All right, let me finish going through my notes, y'all. Let me see. Okay. Child support, Simon said, not going to take money from international funds. Chances. Oh, and this is a quote. Now, I wrote this because I wanted to quote what he said. He said, the chances of the settlement being enforceable is extremely low. Baby, he's not paying Portia. He said, and that's a quote, the chances of this settlement being enforceable is extremely low. He said Miss Diane was living rent free. He said he wasn't just taking care of Portia; he was taking care of Miss Diane as well. That Portia was living rent free. I mean, Miss Diane was living rent free. He said when Portia filed for divorce, she would not tell him why. He kept asking her why. He said because we were doing, we were in Dubai, life was good, everything was great, and then she literally woke up the next day and filed for divorce. And he said she would not tell him. And so by the time she wanted to talk, he didn't want to talk to her. Remember when she said on the Housewives, and this how I know he watched the show. He said he didn't, but this how I know he did. Remember on the show when she said that she reached out to his family and because she was trying to get in touch with Simon because she was like, I don't understand why, we can't be friends. This can't be, amicable. And how he wouldn't return the call. And I was like, why would you reach out to his family? Like, that's his family. They're not your family. Just because they were nice to you and they grew to, accept you in their family. At the end of the day, that is still Simon is still their family. Like, why would you expect them to talk to you? Right. he said by the time she reached out to his family and was texting him about Pilar, he was like, he had checked out. He was like, why are you texting me about Pilar now? Why are you trying to talk to me now? Because when I tried to talk to you, because I didn't want a divorce and I wanted to try to avoid this. So I was trying to find out what was wrong, what happened, so that we could clear it up and maybe work past it. You didn't want to talk to me. You shut me out. So by the time you came back around and decided you wanted to talk to me, I was no longer interested in talking to you. Now, this is what I'm going to say. And this was the end of my notes, but I'm going to say this. When it comes to that, I understand. Listen, I'm a Cancer. One thing, and I don't know what Simon is, but I'm a Cancer. One thing about Cancers, we might, if something go down, it might bother us for months. I might be like, damn, why Smoke stopped speaking to me? He don't come in my chat no more. He asked me to take his mod stick. What did I do to him? What did I do to offend him? And I might reach out to him. I might try to call him, be like, what is going on? What did I do? What happened? And if he don't call me and he blocked me and he won't speak to me, don't come. I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to be over it. And when I'm over it, when a Cancer is done, it's done. When a Cancer is done, it's like this. The lights just go out. It's a wrap. Don't call me. Don't ask me for shit. Don't reach out to me. Don't come back around now saying I just needed some time. Nope. And I feel like that's what Simon did. Simon shut it down. And by the time Portia came back around, and then don't sit here and tell me, oh, Pilar misses you. Don't use the baby. Don't do that. That's not fair to him. Don't use the baby. Oh, Pilar misses you. Pilar wants to talk to you. Well, Pilar was probably missing me when you kicked me out the house and when you filed for divorce 6 months ago. Like, I'm sure Pilar was missing him before then. I'm sure Pilar asked about him the day after he left. And the day after that, she said, I just told her that he was working. Well, I'm sure when he was working before, y'all would FaceTime. So don't come back around now. Now, I will say this. Exactly, Tam. When we done, baby. That is a wrap. Now, let me tell y'all this, though. In my opinion, I 100% believe that Simon knows exactly why Portia filed for divorce. And I do think something happened. I think it's more than just Portia finding out about the lawsuits and his immigration. I don't believe that. I believe she may not have had all of the details, but I believe she knew certain things. Okay. I believe she knew certain things. I do not believe that's the reason why Portia filed for divorce. And let me tell you why I don't believe that. Let me tell you why. The timing did not work. See, if this was because Simon kept saying she set me up, she set me up, she set me up. If Portia was really setting you up, Simon, let's be clear. Portia had your ass in a chokehold. Can we break this down? I got 10 more minutes. I know I said that 10 minutes ago before. I got 10 more minutes. Can we break this down for real, for real? Portia had you in a chokehold, Simon. Portia had you buy a $7 million house that she wasn't paying not near fucking bill in. Portia had a $30,000 a month allowance that she ain't had to work and do shit for, other than, take care of you. Okay? Portia was living the life that she probably always wanted to live. Her mama was taken care of. She was pushing a Rolls Royce. She had a closet full of Chanel and Gucci and Louis. She, lunched with the girls, and she lived it. She did. And she was coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she had this fairy tale storyline. And I don't believe for a minute that, Simon, you didn't sign off on her coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You absolutely signed off on that shit. You were cool with her coming back. You were absolutely cool with her coming back. Because at the end of the day, if you weren't cool with her coming back, she wouldn't have. Because all you would have done was throw some more money at her not to do it. You would have been like, okay, I'm going to increase your allowance to $50,000 a month. I don't really want you to go back to that show. So in my mind, and Portia knew she had this sweetheart prenup in the back burner. Let's be clear. Portia makes more money in the prenup, the longer she's married to you. She makes more money the longer she's married to you. The only reason why I think that Portia maybe pulled the trigger early is because maybe she did know that it was a potential that you were going to move out of the country and she thinks she could get to the money. That's what I'm thinking. Now, do I think that he was maybe pressuring her to leave the United States and she didn't want to do that? Or she was scared that he would get deported and she wouldn't get the money? I think maybe now that's the only thing that I'd be like, okay, Portia pulled the trigger early because she was trying to beat the clock and beat your ass getting out of this country and taking the money. That I might go along with. But to say that this was all the setup, if it was a setup, which it might have been, why would Portia pull the trigger early? Because she could have waited this thing out another 2-3 years, and then she really would have been good. If she had been able to wait this thing out another 2 or 3 years, oh baby, she would have really been good. By your own words, you said you would get ready to set her up in her own international global brand in Dubai. You set her up with dual citizenship in one of the richest countries in the world. You were getting ready to set up a business for her over in Dubai. She's living, ain't paying their goddamn bill, and living in the lap of luxury, flying private jets and stuff. Why would she pull the trigger early? If this was a plan all along, something happened, and I think he knows what happened, and I think Portia absolutely knows what happened, and I don't think either one of them are going to speak on it, at least not right now. I ain't saying we never going to know. I'm not going to say we are never going to know, but something happened. That's my opinion. And I think Simon knows exactly what it is. And I don't think it's nothing like, I don't think he cheated on, I don't think it's him cheating on her, because I don't think that's enough for Portia to leave that. I think it's something deep. Right, just me. They know what it is. They know what it is. Simon knows what it is. And Portia knows what it is. Portia ain't telling. Not yet. Not yet. Did they pay the private jet company? Now, I don't know, Cindy. I don't know if he still got that bill, child. Portia said he tried to pull a fast one on her when they were trying to do that deal in Dubai. He threw a fit when she asked to have her lawyer review it. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember she said that in the divorce. That there was something with that deal in Dubai that didn't feel right. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I agree. Greek son, that's what I agree with. Whatever it was, I think it had something to do with money. I don't think he was cheating on her. I think it definitely has something to do with money. That's my opinion, y'all. That's my opinion. Now, I say all that to say this. If you want to hear for yourself, please go over to Michelle A.T. Alien Brown. She did part 1 and part 2. I think part 1 might have been close to an hour. Part 2 was like 40 minutes. She says she has the full unedited version. The full unedited version over on her Patreon. So if you want to hear you want to know what was edited out, excuse me, y'all go over there and get her a subscription over to her Patreon and find out what's going on. Again, this is my opinion based on what I heard and my interpretation. Y'all got my breakdown of it, but y'all know, y'all go back and leave it under the comments. If y'all say really be that ain't what I heard, you leave it under the comments. It's okay. Y'all can tell me about that. With that being said, y'all, I'm about to dip out for a couple of hours. When I come back, oh gosh, y'all, I know I keep promising, so I don't even want to say what I'm gonna do because I don't want to keep promising and promising and promising. Y'all, I promise y'all, I have a plan for my day, and then something will happen, and I end up having to do 4 or 5 other things that I did not plan to do, which is why some of this stuff isn't happening the way it's happening. So I don't want to keep promising and not delivering. But one thing I'm a tentatively promise that we will get a review of the Real Housewives of Miami tonight. I can tentatively promise that. But anything else right now, I just don't want to promise anything else because I hate that I promise y'all stuff and I have not delivered. So the best thing I can say is I'm still doing my best to get caught up, y'all. Thank you, Cindy. I really am enjoying my summer. Like I said, I got a call earlier this week from some friends who were in town, and I'm enjoying, I spend time with my friends today. Actually, I can tell you guys today I'm going to dinner with one of my former students. She called me, asked me what I was doing. She's getting ready to go back to college. She's leaving Saturday to go back to college, and she wanted to meet up. And I said, well, what's your schedule like this week? So she's good. So I'm meeting her for lunch today. So, life is life and I'm enjoying it. So I'm doing the best I can, you guys, but I really don't want to keep making promises. So again, I can tentatively promise Real Housewives of Miami tonight live review after the episode. And I'm going to try, I'm not even going to say it. That's it. Okay. So I'll see y'all later on today. There is no teacher project today because, like I said, I'm going out. I have a meeting first. Actually, I have a meeting and then I'm going out. Child, they making me work for free in the summer, child. So I actually have a meeting first and then I'm going out. But I'm about to go jump in the shower right now so I can get to where I need to be. And I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. I'm going to try to do a teacher project. I'm going to try to do a try meeting when I get home. If the time doesn't work, then I'll just see y'all for the Real Housewives of Miami. Okay? Mwah! I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.